Hello everybody and welcome, this is Common and Cam. With the upcoming release of Transformers Rise of the Beast and her appearance in Transformers Earthspark, it's time to update and re-rank the most popular female Autobot, ARCEE. ARCEE debuted in the 1986 G1 Transformers movie, and her design has remained fairly consistent since then, but we've got some various designs here that are going to be really interesting to look at. Now without further ado, let's dive straight into the tier names. The top tier, of course, had to be a quote from the G1 movie.
Stay close to me, Daniel!
And you better stay close to me!
No, you'd better stay close to me.
Next up we have a quote from Transformers Earthspark.
Oh, well, you excited yet? Yeah!
And now for the middle tier, let's pull up a quote from Transformers Prime.
Maybe it needs one of these doohickeys.
You're a motorcycle, RC. Shouldn't you know how to build a motorcycle engine?
You're a human, Jack. Can you build me a small intestine?
Following up next is the second worst tier.
Cybertron is our home planet. We must protect it from the growing Decepticon menace. Decepticon.
Can't you shut her up? She makes Blitzwing sound like he's got his head screwed on straight.
And now finally, for the worst RC design, we have...
Speak up. I can't hear you when you whimper.
Get fragged.
First up, of course, is the Generation 1 RC. Now, RC was the first female Autobot to be designed, and her approval for the movie is actually what led to the creation of all the female characters that appeared in the Alpha Trion episode. Unfortunately, she wouldn't get a toy, she would only reach the prototype stages, which is, that is a bit rough.
Bombastic side-eye. Criminal offensive side-eye.
Now I like her design, but it's always been difficult to kind of capture this design in toy form without there being some sort of limitations, but I like it. The strong resemblance to Princess Leia is of course there, due to those films coming out in the 80s, and they couldn't have picked a better inspiration. When you look at the early concept designs for RC, it's definitely rough. Those shoulders were not working, and it's so good that they fixed it for the film version. It's just overall superior. The light pink and orange did not work as a combination at all. It took them a few tries, but they finally got there in the end. The movie RC design belongs in the top tier, but I'll sentence the prototypes and the comic version in Can't You Shut Her Up. Now in the G1 cartoon, RC did turn human very briefly in the episode Only Human. I suppose they wanted to make it less obvious she resembled Princess Leia by making her a blonde. I mean, it's okay, it's fine. They did actually make a toy of this, so for anyone who wanted a human RC, there's your dream. I'll place this one in Are You Excited Yet? Because I bet some of you freaks are. Next up we have the Beast Wars RC. Now this was a BotCon 2001 exclusive, just a minor retooling of the Transmetals 2 Black Arachnia toy, and yeah, I don't think this works. I'm just not the biggest fan to begin with on the Transmetals Black Arachnia design. I think it's a little bit too loud for my taste. I don't feel like these colours exactly work on this toy. With RC being Rat Trap's great on, I expect something more on the lines of this. I'll place this one in Can't You Shut Her Up. Now let's talk about Transformers Energon RC. Energon was the first RC to transform into a bike. While not the prettiest, definitely not the ugliest either. I'm kinda torn on this design because I don't like the 3D animation of this RC, but I do like how she's animated in cell animation. Granted, it was very brief in the show. I do commend it on being a unique take. You know, it still has that resemblance to the original Generation 1. To say this is like the blueprint for the future of RC's designs in transforming into a bike, it's not bad, but someone needs to build her a small intestine. In Japanese media, she got a synthetic human form, and it's definitely different compared to a Generation 1 human form. I'm going to make the smart decision and place her next to a G1 human counterpart. Are you excited yet? Next up we have the Binaltech RC. Now this is a redeco of Decepticharge, which himself is a retool of Windcharger. Yeah, we've had a lot of Hondas. I think the mold suits better on Windcharger, but this RC is actually pretty good, not a bad redeco. I think the vehicle mode works for RC, and those colours really mesh well together. Yeah, why not? I'll put this in Are You Excited Yet? And now we have Transformers Animated RC. I cannot explain how much I love this design. It harkens back, of course, to Generation 1, but with Derek J. Wyatt's art style. For those who are not aware, I'm obviously a big fan of Transformers Animated, and this was the first RC technically I was introduced to, and it was a good choice. I really love her design, it's so slick and cool. In the show, she was actually a school teacher once. There's something about this design that you just know that already, like it just gives you that vibe. Now this one better stay close to me. Another RC that stays close to me is the original 2007 RC. For those who are not aware, she was originally in the lineup for the 2007 movie, but due to the writers not being able to explain female Transformers, she was cut out. But she got as close as having her own toy, and this toy at the time was actually pretty impressive. I mean, it still is to this day, really. I wish there were a few things that were a bit more, I'd say, solid on this design. It does look a bit messy, but I love the style of those legs and that head design as well. It seemed that everybody was a fan of this design, except for Michael Bay, who said no to female robots. To keep her safe from Michael Bay, she's going to stay close to me. I think Michael Bay hated RC so much that the Revenge of the Fallen version was his way of insulting him. What a massive downgrade. Now at the time, when I was a young little wee boy, I kind of liked this design. I actually thought it was pretty cool, but looking back, yeah, they did RC dirty, and the rest of the RC twins, Chromia and Alita 1. I mean, look at this thing, they combine into this, they were supposed to anyway. I'm glad they didn't. Not even the film likes them, like Alita 1 got shot in the face and I'm pretty sure RC died.
Get to the pillars!
For them to be reduced to triplets is just kind of a bit of an insult to those characters because they are unique on their own. And the toys have never really been able to get this design right. It's just a complex design. You thought it was complicated it being a bike into a big robot, but hey, Transformers Prime and Rise of the Beast can do it. I like the head of this design, I think it's cool, but overall, it's just a mess. I don't know why they just didn't use the design from the 2007 concept. There is a sort of weird soft spot I have for them, but that's more of a nostalgia thing, I guess, because I loved these movies growing up. It actually made me feel better about Energon RC, considering she actually has legs. So, screw it, I'll move her up one. Now let's move on to the aligned continuity, and let's talk about the early concept art for RC. This was in 2009 by Ken Christensen, so around the same time as the Revenge of the Fallen movie, and he definitely improved upon the Revenge of the Fallen design by giving her legs, and obviously this was supposed to have been the original design idea for RC and Transformers Prime. Of course, to fit with the new art style they were going for, it's kind of similar, except for the head and chest and all the extras, but the silhouette is still kind of there. Of course, the drastic change being the colour, opting for a Chromia blue instead of a traditional pink. Now, while I can't imagine the Transformers Prime RC being pink, I also can't imagine this design being blue either. Well, a little bit, but I feel like pink really suits this design. They picked a good shade here. It's a shame we never got to see this design fully realised. I really think it's an underrated design, so this one better stay close to me. Another RC that better stay close to me is of course the original Transformers Prime RC herself. Such a unique take in the fact of the colour change, something that fans probably would have never have imagined that could work, but it does. And in a fun twist, when you see this design in pink, it's just, oh, it's just bleh. Now, as a kid, I always wanted them to change the name to Chromia because I have a big soft spot for Chromia, but this being RC, it doesn't really matter really. I think the characterization of RC has been done with a lot of justice in this cartoon. I think it was something that the character really needed, considering while she is the most popular female Transformer. But the design itself is just so cool. I love the art style of Transformers Prime. The toys have kind of had a tough time sort of replicating that, and that's why I really wanted to get hold of the red RC figure, because it's just a really good looking design. But for the life of me, I will never excuse the mass shifting that goes off when RC transforms into a bike mode. Still, a pretty cool bike. Now, as much as I love this RC, I do kind of like the Jagex Transformers Universe MMO RC just a little bit more, just because of that emphasis on the pink. It's really out there, and I think it makes the bike mode stand out just a lot more as well. RC would kind of have a weird pink phase in the Transformers Prime cartoon, where in the early episodes, her chest is visible with pink highlights, and it just doesn't work. But in the Jagex version, they place the pink on the right areas. Both of these designs, however, stay really close to me. Not so close to me is the Legacy RC. Now, myself and I think many other Transformers fans were left disappointed with this reveal, because we actually wanted a Prime RC to get an updated toy, not this G1 combination. I just don't think it works. It's just too clunky. I really don't like the wheel placements, and the back kibble as well is a bit of a mess. I mean, yeah, this just doesn't really nail it for me. It just doesn't remind me of RC. Now let's talk about her very brief cameo in the Robots in Disguise sequel to the Transformers Prime cartoon. Sadly, she didn't appear. She was only on a wanted card. Yeah, it's not really much to say about this. I mean, it definitely looks like RC. You know, it's that same head crest that we remember from Prime, but she's a bit more bulky now with her shoulders, you know, very broad there. I kind of wish we got to see the rest of this design, but I can't really compliment it too much because we don't know the rest of it. But I like the chest. I like the head. Not quite sure what she transforms into. For both of these, can you build them a small intestine? If anything, the Transformers Legacy toy line should have gone the route of the Legends card RC. This is so badass. Like, it's the G1 head of RC with the Prime aesthetics. I think this looks 10 times better than the Legacy RC. And she's got some cool weapons as well that the artist threw in as well, like this crossbow. We have one with a sword as well. They really went all out when it came to the Legends game. Really cool design. I think this really slaps. It actually blends in the G1 head design really well. And it kind of takes loose inspiration from that early aligned concept art by Ken Christensen in the chest. I'll put this one in Are You Excited Yet? Now let's dive into some video games, and where better to start than the War for Cybertron RC. This is my goddess. I just love this design so much. It just takes the foundation and just amplifies it. The proportions can be kind of a bit funny, you know, with the head being kind of a bit bigger for the body than it should be. But I loved playing as RC in the game. I thought she was a really underrated character, and it's a shame she didn't actually appear in the campaign. I hope in the Studio Series Gamer Edition we get an RC toy. Next up we have the Earth Wars RC. Now I feel the exact same as I did for the Nightbird design, because it's just copies of each other, and I really don't like the bulkiness. The backpack is really big, and yeah, it's just a bit, it's like everything's in the backpack. Everything else is just kind of secondary. I think the vehicle mode looks cool. That's a nice car mode. But yeah, that backpack needs to go. Now the Forged to Fight RC kind of improves on the backpack. It's shrunk down a bit, but damn, those arms are freakishly long. They're really creepy. Like, her proportions seem really off on this design. Once again, the vehicle mode looks really cool, really great. Basically the same as Earth Wars, but yeah, no, proportion wise, she just looks, it's unsettling. Bizarrely enough, less unsettling is actually the Angry Birds RC. I actually really like this. It's a cool design. I like how it's animated as well, both in-game and the 2D shorts. I think it's because of how cute she looks when she's in a little bike mode. But yeah, my mind's changed on this. I actually don't hate it. Oh my god, it's happening. I'm becoming an Angry Birds fan. Now we have the extremely anime RC. This is from the Chinese MMO games you can only play in China. They really went all out, didn't they? How very joy of you, RC. And no, I don't mean that kind. I'm talking about Blade Runner joy. Like, I don't know why, but it reminds me of that. Like, I expected to be on like a sort of billboard, like how Joy was in the Blade Runner 2049 film. The face is kind of unsettling. I really like the chest, and I really like the vehicle parts on the back there. Probably could have been out the skirt, and probably could have cut down on the arse cheeks. And by that I mean having none. But I bet this gets a lot of people excited, so I'm going to put it there. You really can't phrase this any differently. I should not have picked this for a tier name. Alright, next up we have Titans Return RC. It's shit. Alright, let's move on. Now let's move on to comics. Now I'm going to put some of these together just to kind of get through this a bit easier. I really like the colour difference on the More Than Meets the Eye RC. I like that shade of orangey kind of red. It's kind of like the underrated colour out of all the RC colours we've had. Rise of the Beast has kind of took that on and just made it a bit more of a darker red, which is cool. I really like the lining detail on the Synergy RC. I love the addition of a blade as well. To say that this was just for a small issue, it's pretty badass. Now the inverted colours of RC on the Combiner Hunters just improves the Titan's Return toy. Like, that toy is just such garbage, but when you actually model it and tweak it and just change a few small things, it can actually look pretty cool. And the Combiner Hunters definitely shows that, and I like the colour scheme as well with the black and dark pink. It really works, especially for a shattered glass type of RC. Like, this is way better than the actual shattered glass version of RC that we got. This is in the Transformers animated universe. It's just RC's body, but with Scourge parts and a beard. Alright, next up we got the next batch of comic variations of RC, and I don't like any of these. I think they're all pretty lame. The Heart of Darkness one creeps me out. The Revolution one, I kind of like the full body, but the shoulders are a bit too big. Like, they just look so goofy looking. And then the Optimus Prime issue RC is just a blank. She looks like cardboard. Alright, I'll save the best for last. We have the Terminator RC. Yes, there was a comic where the Transformers versed the Terminator, and they went all out for this RC design. The most unique looking RC design that I think we've looked at in quite a while. She looks so badass, so robust. The head design is so cool. Please, Hasbro, give us a toy of this. Bring this in the Legacy line. This, of course, has got to stay close to me. So that's a wrap on all the comic versions of RC. Sadly, and for whatever reason, RC would get a Street Fighter 2 skin. Because, I don't know, it sucks. At least she got this adorable Transformers Q RC toy. I like this. It's cute. Maybe one day I'll actually buy one of these things. Not so cute, however, is this demented psycho. Alright, now we have the Creo RC. And, yeah, it's alright. Do they give her boobs? Next up, we have the War for Cybertron Netflix RC. Very similar, of course, to her Generation 1 design. They've tweaked just a few things like her shoulders, but yeah, at first, I couldn't tell if she transformed into anything. I guess that's kind of a critique of the original G1 design itself. But yeah, I mean, she just kind of exists. She's alright. She's just kind of there. I kind of wish they would have done something new, but I'll just put her in, build her a small intestine. Something that is new and refreshing, but then also similar a little bit at the same time, it is the Cyberverse RC, one of my favourite characters in the show. I really like this. You can actually see the vehicle parts as well. Kind of wish the backpack was just a little bit smaller, but I think this improves upon the original G1 design a lot more, and I like the art style of the Cyberverse as well, especially in the 2D animation. I mean, how can you not love this RC with her love for animals? Yes, this is the reason I put her in the highest tier. Alright, next up we've got Earthspark RC. Now, I don't 100% love this design. It's the colours. I feel like her legs need to be more white. It's just, I don't know, there's something off about it. Like, the vehicle mode's alright. Like, I can get behind sort of that, even though it is a little bit loud. I praise it for it being something refreshing, but I feel like the colours in some areas need to be kind of swapped around, and I would have loved more detail on the head. Like, it just looks so plain looking and kind of boring. Like, give me some lining patterns, please. While I am excited about this design, I think there needs to be more to make it number one. Alright, now let's move on to the current live action movies. We have the Bumblebee movie RC. What an incredible design. This is how RC should have started out. The face, of course, is a bit too much. I feel like they cleaned it up a lot better for the upcoming Transformers Rise of the Beast movie. But still, nonetheless, a really good design. It's like the War for Cybertron game RC. It knows its foundation, but improves upon it and adds so much more depth to it. Just say she only had one shot as well in the movie. It's pretty outstanding. They even managed to create a vehicle mode for her. The geniuses at Hasbro managed to figure out a vehicle mode even though there wasn't one to begin with, and it looks really cool. I own this figure and it's really nice. This, of course, has to stay close to me. Alright, now we have Transformers Rise of the Beast RC. A really solid design overall. I'm really looking forward to her character in the movie. Now, during the film's development, her design has tweaked ever so slightly, because if we look at the controlled art, which is the original design, we can see that her head design has tweaked ever so slightly to suit the voice actor who is playing RC in the movie, that being YouTuber Lisa Koshy. Another big noticeable change is the headlights being removed. As you can see in the film version, they have now been removed. This was no doubt removed due to them looking like nipples. I can't believe I'm saying this. Though it doesn't make sense when you look at the vehicle mode, like where do they disappear to? But yeah, no, I'm serious. That's literally the reason why they got rid of them. But to be honest, I think they look better without them. Even though it makes no logical sense, I think it looks a lot cleaner and nicer. But yeah, I love this design. I like the new change of colour as well with the red, still with pink elements. I think it works a lot better. I think we all know that this better stay close to me. Now let's talk about some fan arts, because I just want to pay tribute to all the great fan art out there. Also, if you plan on sharing any of this artwork, please do not leave out the watermark of the artist, because that's disrespectful, and discourtesy is unspeakably ugly to me. Coming from Rise of the Beast, let's talk about Kairito 10's version of RC from that movie. Now I absolutely adore this because it incorporates elements from like War for Cybertron, like that head design is just so cool, and I like the shoulders. I honestly can't decide which colours I prefer better, the Rise of the Beast or the traditional pink. I think both of them go hand in hand with each other, just really well done. This better stay close to me. Now, have you ever imagined RC as a rodent? Well, now you can. She's a capybara. This is great artwork by Primus Ivy. This is such a unique animal mode that I've never seen a Transformer actually turn into, so this is like the first. And I can definitely imagine this as Rat Trap's great aunt. Yeah, the robot mode is so badass. I love the art style. I'm kind of disappointed she's not going to be turning into a capybara in the film. Let's hope at some point she scans a rodent. Next up, we've got artwork once again by Sean Art. I really like this RC design because it gives me animated vibes. It's like her Earth mode, but then you can see the chest as well, like Bumblebee in the Revenge of the Fallen movie. And she's also got her big gun, much like Cyberverse. It's like a great combination of RC designs here, all in one. And she has a pet dog as well. She's got Steel Jaw. I really like this, really cool. It's just animated Earth mode vibes for me, and I really like it. Really good job, artist there, and the battle mask is really cool as well. This RC has a full-on arsenal, so you better stand back. All links to these talented artists will be in the description box below. Of course, let me know what your personal favourite RC design is in the comment section below. With Transformers Rise of the Beast just round the corner, it's good to see RC back in action, this time done with some justice. She'll have more screen time and a more prominent role. Finally, after 7 live-action Transformers movies, we got there in the end. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on that notification bell to get all updates instantly. This has been Common and Cam, and until the next video, goodbye.